Hi everyone, my name is Rita Tomás. I am the Director of Communications at TBA, Teatro do Bairro Alto. We are one of the youngest municipal theatres in Lisbon. We are dedicated to experimental performing arts, to music and to debate. We have a very unusual room. It's a very wide black box which allows different styles of presentation. We also have a very unusual history because we opened our doors in October 2019, but we actually started our online communication almost a year before, in December 2018. At that time we didn't have a designer or a logo or even a phone number, but it was important for us to showcase all the decision-making process behind this new theatre to prospective audiences, to artists and to colleagues. And from day one, it also mattered to us to invite artists to be part of the communication strategies. This sort of work in progress communication strategy started off with a commission to the Portuguese photographer Artemrede to do a set of images of the building before the refurbishment. With all the dust in the building, we wanted to showcase every stage of this process. We also commissioned 3 sound pieces to Portuguese artists about the empty building, and they actually recorded in the empty building. The first one is by Lígia Soares, and it's about the difficulty of making things right at the first time. And we did 3 in-house videos written by members of staff, recorded by us. It's our voices on the videos. The first one was to explain the reason behind our name, because we're called Teatro do Bairro Alto, but we're not located in Bairro Alto. The name pays homage to an historical theatre that was destroyed by the 1755 earthquake, and actually it was a choice of the previous owners of the building, Teatro da Cornucópia. The second one was about the geography. If we're not in Bairro Alto, then where are we? We are located in central Lisbon, near Largo do Rato. And the third one was about, it was called The Full and the Empty. And it was about this balance of what the Lisbon is full of and Lisbon is empty of, and what we wanted this theatre to be full of and empty of. So for instance, we wanted this building to have a lift so that people on wheelchairs could access the room, which is in an underground level, but we didn't want to have plastic water bottles for internal consumption. So the video showcases this relationship between what we want and what we don't want in the theatre. So from day one, we commissioned work with artists to be part of the communication strategy. We always try to build narratives around strategic ideas of the building. As all cultural structures, we were also impacted by the pandemic. After just 5 months of functioning, we had to shut down, we have to close our doors. That allowed us to begin a second stage of refurbishment works in the building to make it more accessible, but on the office side of the building. But also due to the pandemics, those refurbishment works were also very delayed, which meant that by the time our second season should start, we didn't have a place to present. Our room was not in conditions to be a presentation space. At this point, we engaged in a relationship with the nightclub in Lisbon, Lux Frágil, which was also closed due to the pandemic restrictions, and we sort of did an artistic residency of 2 months in that building, and we created a new narrative, which was all about making invisible work visible and changing places, but still maintaining the work relevant. We invited Portuguese musician Violeta to compose a small sound piece for a video, and we recorded a video which was actually showcased in local cinemas, local TV, We supported this campaign with metro posters, a lot of digital engagement campaigns as well, and we always focusing on this relationship with TBA and looks to venues that didn't have a prior connection, but that were finding a new way of doing things, a new way of working together in these weird circumstances we were all living. And then we used that campaign to reconnect with the neighborhood where we sat, where we're based, and we invited people to come back to the theater, which finally opened its doors more than a year after it first closed. As you can see by now, artists are always part of our strategy in communication. Not only when we're trying to communicate our programs, but also when we're trying to communicate broader ideas or campaigns related to theatre. We always like to engage and invite artists to think these questions with us. Also, another key aspect of our promotional strategy is accessibility. So on the one side, all the refurbishment works done in the building were done with a sense of making the building more accessible. So we have a lift, we have signage for blind people, we offer sessions for blind and deaf people with some frequency. We built our website to be accessible to people who can't read, and we're now in the course of preparing a couple of accessible video guides with sign language, with Portuguese Sign Language, and also with subtitles to allow people to prepare their visit to the space beforehand, knowing exactly what is accessible, what it's not, what can be a challenge, what cannot be a challenge. So I think that's an important stage of our strategy as well. That's it from me now. Thanks for the opportunity, and I hope to see you soon at TBA.